What's up, guys? I wanted to shoot this video because I'm tired of writing on social media, and I wanted to share something that's been a aha moment for me. I'm holding the human heart right here. This is the human heart. And the reason I bought this on Amazon for $40 was because I thought it was a good way to get your attention, to go, whoa, what is that? But also because I want to talk about the entrepreneur's heart. Your heart. Whether your business is doing a lot or a little, whatever that means to you. I have come to realize after coaching countless amounts of entrepreneurs that for the longest time I've been trying to get to their head and trying to help them rethink and focus on their mindset. And let's get your mind right. And I've been wrong. I've been wrong because oftentimes when an entrepreneur gets stuck or they can't figure out where they're at or depressed, anxious, or just feel like they've lost momentum, I'll go, well, we just need to think about this thing differently. And that gets them about 50% of the way. But they end up in this cycle. You've probably ended up in this cycle where maybe things are a little bit better, but you feel like you're back where you were 4 years ago. Or every 2 years, I end up right back here with the exact same issue. And you go, what should I do? What do I do? How should I go about this? And those are all mindset things. And yes, you can think your way out of situations, but at the end of the day, you'll always end up back where you were, even if things are a little bit better, if you don't fix this, your heart. And your heart is where your will and your emotions live, the heart. And I can say with 100% certainty, the times that I've really gotten someone a massive breakthrough was when I was able to get to both things, the head and the heart. And for you, if you're an entrepreneur and you're watching this and you're feeling like, man, I feel stuck, there's something about what you're saying, then I want you to continue to listen. Everyone else can go away. Your heart is actually, if you think of it like a business, your heart is the visionary and your mind is the operator. Both equally important if you want to scale. The best businesses have both. They've got someone that is the visionary that's talking about where we need to go, and they've got a vision of where they want to go. They've got a dream. They've got the drive, and they're telling everyone. They're kind of like a high-level salesperson, but also they can lead a team and motivate them. This is where we're going. We're going after this mountain. That's the heart. They can be a little bit more volatile, a little bit more emotional, and all of that stuff. But without them, you're not going anywhere, and nowhere seems exciting, okay? Now, in order to make that dream happen, especially if you're a really healthy business, you can't just have this. You've got to have this. And that's usually the operator or the integrator, as you might hear it in some people's dialogue. But you've got to have the operator. And the operator is there to go, okay, you want to get there? I'm going to create the logistics to make that happen. We've got to hire these people. We've got to reorganize this thing. We've got to let go of these people. We've got to do this. Here's the roadmap. Now I'm going to create the roadmap here to get there. Well, for you as an entrepreneur, your heart is the one that dictates that. So when your heart is off, your mind doesn't care what the vision is. It just wants to make it happen. If you've ever dealt with someone that struggles with drugs, alcohol, whatever, when they want a drink or they want drugs, they know that they shouldn't, right? But they still go and do it. And they figure out a plan to go do it. And you might be thinking, if they applied that same energy to business or to whatever, to family or whatever, they would be phenomenal. But their heart is off. It's completely off. And so even though you would think your mind would say, don't do this, the heart drives. The heart rules. Okay? So the mind goes, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to sneak out of the house. We're going to steal money from mom's purse. We're going to do all this stuff to go get these drugs, to go get another drink, right? And for the longest time, I talked about boredom or shiny object syndrome or all of these other things. And I go, okay, we got to reset this. You know, if you got shiny object syndrome, you need to remind yourself of what you're doing. You need to realize how important this one thing is. Entrepreneur after entrepreneur, it's mindset, mindset, mindset. But it's not until there is a heart breakthrough that the mind then goes, okay, based on this new reality, based on this truth, I can now pursue and I can create a plan based on a healthy heart. I now have a healthy objective to plan for and to go after. I now have healthy goals. I now have a healthy vision to go after. And your heart isn't trying to chase something it doesn't need to chase. Here's what I've seen. And maybe you as a business owner have seen the same thing. I will see a really high-level entrepreneur basically create a cash cow. I call it the golden goose in business. It's predictable cash flow that creates a meaningful difference in their life. They will create that from a healthy heart because they were mission driven. They went after it. They were hyper focused because it mattered to them. And someone on the team played the operator and they went, okay, I'm going to help make this happen. And it worked. The plan worked. Okay. Healthy heart, healthy mind. They got there. Now they've got predictable cash flow. But I would say then that entrepreneur gets bored. And what I would actually say is at some point, their heart went in a bad direction. Something in here got sick. And it might not be a massive sickness, but whatever it is, it got sick. And they got burnt out. They went, this is not important. And they lost sight of a bigger vision for what is working, and they get distracted. Okay? And this is where a lot of people that have worked for a very visionary entrepreneur get upset because it sounds like they're always changing the roadmap and it sounds like they're always annoyed about something. Meanwhile, you guys are going, this thing is working great. It's working. We have predictable cash flow. We have predictable job. We know what we're doing. We show up every day and we know what to do. But for the visionary, they go find, and I've always said that it's this, but I've realized now it's different. And the world would say, oh, that's shiny object. They found a shiny object. And now I would say their heart's off. This thing, it's off, okay? They go off to this thing. Everyone does this. Every entrepreneur does this, even though their main business is killing it. And if they would just focus more on this, if they would just double down, if they would re-envision this thing for what's next, they would go, oh my gosh, what would happen if we just doubled and tripled down? We'd create more cash flow, more predictability, we'd hire more great people, and we'd serve more people at a higher level. Oh my gosh. But they don't see that. Their heart's off. So then they say, we're either going here, or they create a new business, or they create a new thing, and they go, we're going over there. Okay, we're now going to do this. And so what does the team have to do? The team has to take their eye off of this cash flowing thing and for a little bit, or they can only just kind of put a little bit of their focus there and they put a little bit more focus over there. The roadmap changes, they go, okay. And because the business owner is that charismatic, they're like, this might work. Maybe this is what we need to do, okay? And they do it. Well, inevitably, the golden goose is not as golden, turns silver, okay? And the new opportunity, it might grow a little bit, but the growth that it's taking and the time and the work that it's taking, if that same amount of energy was just put back in the golden goose would be like the platinum goose. It'd be the diamond goose, okay? I don't know why I'm so stuck on this goose and commodities, but I am, okay? So this is my encouragement. Because if I tell the entrepreneur, and many of you have, whose heart is just a little sick, if you tell them don't pursue that, they get frustrated with you and they kind of shut you out. I mean, they're still friends and whatever, but they basically don't go to you anymore for advice or feedback because you're just going to tell them that this thing over there that they want to do, they can't do. So you become mom, right? Or dad. You become this person that's telling them you can't go play in the new playground over there. So you kind of just go along with it. You become apathetic. I've seen this in a lot of teams where everyone's just kind of like apathetic. They're like, all right. I've seen it in churches. I've seen it in businesses. Because when I'll come in, I'll ask everyone how everything is going. And if they're trying to like, well, it's going. It's like, what can we improve? It's like, well, we've tried, They want to honor the visionary without throwing them under the bus because they appreciate the job. But at the same time, they've given up. Ththey're not even angry anymore. It's scary. When they're not frustrated or angry, it means they've given up, and that's not good. But now that we're here, right? What do you do? If you're the entrepreneur, you're like, I think that's me, or that's me. How do I get back? What do I do? This is all about maturity. It's emotional maturity, but it's a sign of what I would say, some call it the 3 C's, some call it 3 R's. I would just say it's the hardest part for you is you need to rest. You've been grinding, you've been going, you need to rest. Your heart is saying, just go rest. And when you rest, you'll get new vision for the golden goose. Rest looks different for everybody. But for the visionary entrepreneur, it feels like laziness, okay? But it's really important. The second thing is you actually need to get around more people that are further ahead in the business and industry that you're in. You need connection, okay? Because you're kind of bored of your team. And honestly, I get it. They're different from you. They're not visionaries. They're there to help you create the vision. And so you need to go around other visionary leaders. And this is not me saying, hey, you need to join a really expensive high-end group. But if they're there, then it might be worth the investment because they're going to show you things and they're going to call you to a higher level, okay? Which is really what you want because most of the entrepreneurs I talk to, what this thing wants is significance. Once you've created the golden goose, you now want to feel and know that you're doing a good job and that what you're doing matters and that you are impactful and that you are good. Okay? And you can tell yourself all the positive affirmations, but because it's coming from you internally, it's really, really hard for you to believe it. And because you're probably burned out. Now, I would say go have fun, but fun is the shiny object right over there. And so I try to be careful here. So you want connections, you need rest, and the last thing you need, in a good way, is to reflect. If you just take a journal and write down all the things that have been accomplished over the last 2 to 3 years, you'll go, oh my gosh, you'll have a whole page of these things that were accomplished, and you'll go, now I can see how we can turn this golden goose into a diamond goose, and you'll get excited, you'll get motivated, and your heart will heal. Now, part of what the heart needs to heal is trauma. That takes a while, so you can still chase after the new mountain while healing trauma from the past, because look, your heart is probably broken, okay? This is probably your invisible heart, the one that holds your will and emotion. It should be this. You should be whole, right? But it's this. And the reason why it's broken is if you just think about this last 2 to 3 years for an entrepreneur has been crazy. No matter where you sit politically, tariffs, that has created uncertainty. COVID, uncertainty. Interest rates going up and down, uncertainty. That just goes on top of all the normal things that happen for business owners, okay? Which are just people leaving, you having to fire, deals not going through that you thought were going to go through, deals that did go through that were awesome, not having any profit in 1 month or 2 months or 3, and then having a ton. Just the whole cycle of entrepreneurship you went through. And that alone is a beating. Not to mention all the stuff that happens with your family, your spouse, all of that stuff, okay? That's enough. But just the past 3 to 4 years, I'm not saying it's good or bad, all right? So this isn't a political video. It is just saying it's been a lot. And whether you like it or not, you've got trauma. Trauma is just the absence of good or the presence of bad. And all of that creates a broken heart. Now, to heal the heart is you actually need to spend time healing from it, forgiving people, apologizing, talking it through, processing, all of that. And most entrepreneurs don't want to do that because they see it as a waste of time. But if you actually do it while you're still chasing the new mountain, not only will your heart be whole, but now you'll have new vision that's exciting that'll allow you to chase after it where you don't burn out because you've got healthy rhythms. And this is the last thing I'll say. Hustle and grind culture is a season, it's not a lifestyle. And so what you need in order to have a healthy heart, once you've gotten to this place where you've created a cash flow machine, you've created the golden goose, is you need healthy rhythms because there's predictability now, okay? To a certain extent, it is business and business is business. But now you actually need to create rhythms where maybe your routine, you need to relook at your calendar and your routine. Maybe you don't have to wake up as early. Maybe you can change the workouts around. Maybe you need to spend more time with your family and that will fill your bucket. And maybe this predictability where you're bored, boredom is awesome for creativity. Maybe it's God saying, hey, it's time to spend time with your family more. You had to focus on this business to create the cash flow that's now allowing you to do some cool things, but maybe it's time for that trip with your family that you couldn't afford. Or maybe it's just time for you to do that thing with your kids that they've been asking, but you've just been thinking about it and going, I don't have the time to invest in that. But now you do, so do that. I say all this not to make that entrepreneur feel bad, but to say, hey, if you've been feeling off, there's a reason why. And there's no thinking around this that's going to fix this. You can't think yourself out of a broken heart. The thing that heals it is time, intentionality, finding rhythm, connecting with other entrepreneurs, investing in counseling, therapy, coaching, whatever it is for you, so that you cannot be distracted, but be focused and build to the next level and create the significance in your life and in your business that you've always been looking for. So I hope this has been helpful. You guys are awesome. Let's get the heart back. Then we can get to the head. Then we can create tons of money. Let's go.